Remember, he was supposed to depose before the court in the 2002 hit-and-run case. Salman has told the court that his driver, Ashok Singh, was driving and not himself, as the prosecution claims. This is the latest in the Salman Khan hit-and-run 2002 hit-and-run case. Remember, Salman was supposed to appear in court, as the court had called him for deposition. Remember, other witnesses in the case have also deposed before, and Salman has denied outrightly driving that car.
क्या बोलेंगे वो न्यायालय डिसाइड करेगी। देखिए, हमें दोनों पक्षियों को हमारी जो आर्ग्यूमेंट होगी वो पूरी आर्ग्यूमेंट करने की अपॉर्चुनिटी दी जाएगी। न्यायालय दोनों बाजू सुनेगी और उसके बाद न्यायालय जो उचित समय लगेगा उतना जजमेंट देने के लिए, उसके बारे में मैं कुछ बोल नहीं सकता।
की संख्या बताई सलमान के वकील ने कितने?
सलमान के वकील ने वो 2 विटनेसेस एग्जामिन करेगा ऐसे आज बताया है।
हो गया
All right, let's go across to Rishabh Gulati for more on this. Salman Khan sticking to his version, saying his driver was driving the car. That is not what the prosecution says.
Yes, absolutely right. The interaction for the first time has taken place directly between the judge and Salman Khan, where he's taken straight questions. There was a media bar in reporting this until the proceedings were done for the day. Those proceedings are over. Let me tell you what he said. He has said that Ashok Singh, which was his driver, was the one who was actually driving the car. He's also said that the police did not take Ashok Singh's statement at the time. When he was questioned by the judge on whether he was drunk at the time, his answer was, as far as I knew, once you're above the age of 21, you are can legally drink. Of course, of maintaining that he wasn't the one driving. He also says that false allegations have been, or rather his false charges have been put against him in this case by the prosecution. The entire sequence of the interaction I've got with me. He says there was Ravinder Patil, who was an eyewitness in this in the case, and that his statement was false. He says that his driver called the police to inform them about the incident. He's accepted that he was there on the spot, but he says distance from the spot to my house is no more than about 200 meters. He also says that he was in the house at that point of time. The RTO inspector, he says, did not inspect the vehicle. Kamal, the fact that he says Kamal Khan was there, he says Kamal was actually in the house. He surrendered, he says, after section 304 part 2 was added. His vehicle, he says, was released only after 4 years. When he was asked again, I was alluding to this earlier, of why he did not possess a liquor license, he says, I did not know there was such a license which you should procure for drinking. I knew that if you are 21 years or older, you are free to have alcohol. When the court showed him the pictures of the car involved in the accident, he says he identified the pictures, but he says, I'm not aware of what happened to the car as Ashok was driving, and he went to the police station, but the police, he says, refused to take a statement. He then demanded that he be allowed to examine the witnesses, and also then derided the fact that the prosecution's witnesses, one Bal Shankar, who was not a chemical expert, says Salman Khan, and then he also goes on to say that false charges, like I mentioned, have been put against him. This was the nub of the exchange that took place in court today. The hearing now continues on Monday.
All right, there you go. All of what happened in court. Rishabh Gulati, thanks for telling us, like Rishabh was telling us. In fact, Rishabh will stay with us for a while because we can't go to our colleague. Rishabh, Salman Khan outrightly denying that he was behind the wheel there. He's sticking to his defense lawyer's stand there. He also pointed out the fact that that particular chemical expert, in his opinion and the opinion of his defense counsel, was not a chemical expert at all.
Yes, he has challenged the case made by the arresting officers, made by the police, and made by the chemical experts. When he was asked that the police statement records that he was arrested from Almeida Park when he was trying to meet a lawyer, Salman Khan says that was false. He had actually surrendered. Then he says that on the 28th of that month in 2002, the investigating officer went to his house to search. This Salman Khan says is incorrect. He says that the main investigating officer has said that Salman Khan was driving the vehicle. Salman Khan says this is incorrect. When the main investigating officer had claimed that he had searched Salman Khan's gym, Salman Khan says that was incorrect also. He also says false offenses, like I said, have been registered. He also says that the RTO inspector didn't actually inspect the vehicle because the RTO inspector's testimony in this case is very key because it rules on the status of the car, what were the damages to the car that took place, and of course more importantly on the bloodstains that were found on the car. But Salman Khan says that the RTO inspector did not in fact inspect the vehicle. So these are very, very emphatic denials coming in from Salman Khan.
Right.
He has basically denied every single aspect of this case.
If you can see, we also put the graphics of what Rishabh was saying on your screens. He's vehemently denied all charges. He says false charges against him. He says his side of the door jammed. That's why he got down from the driver's side and the driver's door. He also says he didn't drive the car. He says he was legally allowed to drink as he's over 21. He also said that he didn't flee the scene of the crime. He also says that he wasn't drunk but had, in fact, was allowed to drink since he was over 21. Majid Memon, senior lawyer, on the phone line right now. Mr. Memon, Salman Khan has outrightly denied all charges against him, claiming that his driver was driving, and he also says that he wasn't drunk but had, in fact, was allowed to drink since he was over 21. Majid Memon, senior lawyer, on the phone line right now. Mr. Memon, Salman Khan has outrightly denied all charges against him, claiming that his driver was driving and that he didn't flee the scene of the crime.
See, he is entitled to take that defense. You know, that defense must have been advised in view of the evidence that has come before the court. So he has every right to take this defense. It's for the court to appreciate the evidence and believe or disbelieve. He should not comment on that.
Mr. Memon, I appreciate that, but please stay with us for a couple of more moments. He's also tried to point it out. He's tried to point out holes in what the prosecution has been saying about the expert witnesses and their testimonies. He says that the chemical expert that was brought down by the prosecution was not an expert at all.
Well, these are all, you see, a defense. His defense can take all these pleas. There's nothing. It is only because Salman Khan that you make it a news. Every day, if you go to adjoining court, you will find if a similar trial is going on, similar defense will be taken. So what is new in this? Only because it is Salman Khan.
Okay, Mr. Memon, you're saying, of course, that Salman Khan is a celebrity and that's why the media interest, which is obvious. But many thanks for joining us. YP Singh, former IPS officer, also with us. Mr. Singh, Salman Khan denying all charges, saying he didn't drive the car, he didn't flee the scene of the accident, and he also says that he got down from the driver's side because his door was jammed.
I think this is an absolutely lame defense. Every accused in a 313 statement generally denies the charges, and he cooks up all the arguments which can go in his favor. But unfortunately for him, and fortunately for the cause of justice, the independent evidence which has come out from credible evidence has made it almost certain that Salman Khan will be convicted, because the absolute testimony of the deceased constable Ravindra Patil, he clearly said Salman was driving, he was his bodyguard, he is no more, and a statement of a dead person is always reckoned as tenable under the Indian Evidence Act. This, along with so many other statements and corroborating evidence, when they all come together, I think the proof against Salman Khan is overwhelming in nature, and these lame defenses shall not stand the test of scrutiny.
But Mr. Singh, isn't that presumptuous of you deciding what the judge is going to say? I mean, this is a defense, like Mr. Memon was telling us, it's up to the judge to decide whether it's credible or not.
It is certainly for the judge to decide, but as a lawyer, a person can always perceive the strength of the evidence. And as a lawyer, what I can see, the evidence against him is formidable in nature. And if the evidence is formidable, there is a enormous prospect of he getting convicted in the court of law. Just as in the case of Kasab, everybody knew that he will be convicted. Similarly, in the case of Salman Khan, the evidence is very, very strong, and any lawyer would say that he would certainly go behind bars, he will be convicted.
All right, there you go. YP Singh, clear in his thought. He thinks that there is enough credible evidence against Salman Khan to get him convicted. We, of course, cannot comment on whether that will happen or not, because it is up to the judge and the formidable evidence, as Mr. YP Singh puts it, and it's up to the judge to decide which way does he go. For the time being, we can tell you that after the prosecution had produced those experts, those witnesses, including a chemicals expert as well as others, an automotive expert as well, who had in fact deposed before the court and the judge. Salman Khan today, of course, because he had summons from the court, had to go there and give his statement. He says very clearly that he wasn't driving his car. He says his driver Ashok Singh was. He also says that he was allowed to drink since he was 21 and above, and that's not really a crime. Rishabh, we heard both sides really. Majid Neman thinks that it's because it's Salman Khan as a celebrity, that's why the high media interest. I agree with him. On the other hand, ex-IPS and now lawyer YP Singh thinks the credible evidence is credible and formidable enough that Salman Khan has very little room now.
Yeah, it's a battle in court. In fact, Athar, I got the rest of the statement as well. So he says that aap gaadi chala ke gaye the Rain Bar. Rain Bar is the place. So Salman Khan says, no, I was not driving, my driver was driving. He says, in the party, the Patil, Ravinder Patil, who was the driver, you asked him to wait outside. Salman Khan says, no. Then he says at 1:30, this is of course the questioning being done, that at 1:30 a.m. you left the hotel. He says that is correct. But he says, I was not sitting on the driving seat. Yes, after that he says, admits that I went to JW Marriott. At 2:15, the question is asked, when you left JW Marriott, you took the driver's seat. He says wrong. He says Patil did ask him if he could drive the car. Salman Khan says that's incorrect. Then the question is asked, St. Andrews Road, when the car reached St. Andrews Road, you were driving. He says that's false. He says it was Patil was driving. After the incident, he says my driver got out of the car. I had to climb down from the driver's side to get out of the car. The Patil showed his identity card and showed people that he is from the police. Then the question is asked, you fled from the spot. He says that is incorrect. I don't know what happened because Patil went beneath to see, underneath the car to see. I then informed my driver, Ashok, to inform the police. I remained, he says, on the spot for 15 minutes and more. Right. And in fact, I'd gone to the spot after